We now have clean power field lens number one, clean versus dirty power. Okay, I have noticed in my coaching program, where power is a love language, that power is not the problem. It's really that dirty power is the problem. So we've already had the intro video. We're now going to dive into the field lenses. This is how you can tell the difference out in the field, out in your life. What is the difference between clean power and dirty power? We've got 12 of these. This is number one. So people often fear power because they have seen it used as a predation tool, predatory power over. They've seen it dominate, being used to manipulate, extract, and also even self-destruct. So when something grows too large, where it's just consuming, it implodes and takes down much of its surrounding area with it. Because of this, a lot of people don't like power. This is dirty power, not clean power. Okay, power itself is neutral, right? It's capacity, the capacity to make change, the capacity to affect either positive or negative outcomes in your environment and in your interiority, okay? Now, when we think about clean power, this is capacity, again, aligned with truth, consent, and non-extraction, as we talked about in the last video. Dirty power is capacity, but it's used to control outcomes at any cost, usually through copious forms of negativity. And by negativity, I mean destruction. So destruction in of itself is not bad. If I want to recycle this can, I have to melt it down. I'm going to technically destroy the can or transmute it. But it comes down to intention. So even with the best of intentions, if we have, the end justifies the means at any cost, that is still dirty power. Okay, so what does the field tell? How do we know whether it's clean power or dirty power out in our environments? Okay, dirty power feels like pressure, tightening, forcing, cornering. I need this now. There's a sense of urgency. There's a sense of, it's like an addiction. Oh my God, if I don't have this, I'm going to die. Now, from an internal family system lens, in my coaching program, the Stone Protocol, we can then say that there's a wounded part of us that then is making that choice. This is very important to understand. So dirty power usually comes from this place of craving, this scarcity mentality. On the other hand, clean power feels grounded, it feels direct, steady, and its boundaries are very clean. And there's no theatrics, and there's no hidden deception or deceit. Usually it comes from a resourced place. Even if that resource, let's say even if financially the situation is not going well, you're internally resourced. You're connected to your heart, connected to your body system, knowing that you're going to be okay. Even if you might lose your car, lose your house, hopefully not lose a loved one, but maybe a loved one in a relationship. If you're going through a divorce, you still can have clean power in these situations. You don't have to go and try to destroy their life in court. You don't have to go and make up a bunch of lies, whatever it is. Instead, you can be resourced inside of yourself. This is clean power. So what is the litmus test for this? If I remove fear, urgency, or image, some sort of external facade, would I still choose this thing? Would I still act this way? I have some examples from my cancel culture experience that I could share, but I'm not going to throw people under the bus here just because they're not worth it. Another frame to look at this is, does this create more wholeness or more wreckage? So is the intent to try and harm someone, right? That is dirty power. Or is the intent to try and heal? That is clean power. And if you're not well resourced in yourself, you're not going to be able to actually help anyone else heal if you're not healed yourself. So here's an experiment for you to be able to tell whether or not you have clean power or dirty power. If you have a situation, ban all pressure tactics with yourself with that situation. So if anyone's like, you have to decide now, give me your answer by, by 3 hours, whatever it is. If all of that went away, would you still do that thing? No shaming. There's no self-threats. There's only clear communication with yourself around that thing. And if you then can turn that off and there's a very clear start and stop of whatever it is, you can then understand if that is a clean interaction or a dirty interaction. This can really, really help to know whether or not there's a sense of urgency, and if that urgency from an internal family systems perspective is coming from a wounded part. Again, if you are, still struggling with situations, a lot of people will come into my group coaching and they'll say, I have this situation. I don't know if this is like a clean power situation or a dirty power situation. We say, okay, let's break it down. Let's take a look. And this is a huge part of my group coaching, where we then have not only me as the facilitator, but a lot of other people there who can then provide alternate perspectives, male and female. It's very, very helpful.